Whoa, hey, how's it going? Here we go. This is a foundational skills homework video, and we are doing questions 26 through 50 for the foundational skills homework number 2. And here we go, let's do it. So this is number 31, okay? So number 31 is wanting you to evaluate with multiplication and then division with fractions, okay? So you're gonna wanna do the multiplication first, because multiplication is first in the order of operations. So right here, I'm going to do 5 over 6 times 1 over 2, which is going to get you 5 times 1, which is 5, 6 times 2, which is 12. And then we're going to add 1/4 to that. Okay? In order to add fractions, you need a common denominator. So what I'll do is I'll take this fraction, I'm going to multiply that by 3. Now, you have to look at your question and you have to see, okay, what is the factor that I need to multiply my fraction by so that I can get common denominators. And sometimes you have to multiply both fractions. So for example, here, I'm just multiplying this fraction by 1, okay? And that's not going to change the fraction. So here, I still have 5 over 12. And now I'm adding 3 over 12. So I've made a equivalent fraction to 1 over 4 as 3 over 12. So when I add up, I get 5 plus 3, which is 8 over 12. I can divide this by 4 so that I can simplify my fraction, and I get 2/3 as my answer. Okay, I've been going over simplifying fractions a lot lately, and dealing with fractions like this. So if you wanted to divide by 2 and then divide by 2 again, you get the same answer. Okay, let's go. Number 33. All right, 33. Okay, so 33 is combining like terms. So we're going to take these two fractional terms. Okay, so these are both fractional terms that have a y in it, and we're going to combine the like terms. So your answer will be a fraction with a number here and a number here and then a y. So because your terms have y's in it in this question. Okay, so I just want you to practice combining like terms, recognizing that since both the terms have a y, you can combine them with adding. Okay, so I'm not going to do that because I've already gone over how to add fractions. Okay, 35. Cool, amazing. So it tells us to take this expression, 3, and then in parentheses u minus 4, and it wants us to use the distributive property to remove the parentheses. Okay, so we have to notice that we have parentheses, which typically means multiplication, and then we have to see that the 3 is right next to the parentheses. So when that happens, you have to take that 3 and distribute the 3 to all the terms in the inside of the parentheses. So this 3 needs to distribute to the u, and also the -4. So this is a -4. So this will give you 3u, and then 3 times -4 is -12. And that would be your answer. So notice now that there are no parentheses in my answer. Okay, so that was our goal, was to remove the parentheses. All right, let's jump to number 38. Okay, so this is the same thing, all right, same thing. So it wants us to use the distributive property to remove the parentheses, all right? But now we're going to be dealing with fractions. So we have 3/4 as our fraction, and then on the inside, u minus 16. So we have two terms on the inside of the parentheses, u and -16. But here, we're multiplying those terms by 3/4. So what I like to do is I like to take my terms. So I do 3/4 times u, which gives you 3/4 u. And then right here I need to do 3/4 times -16. So I'm actually going to do that off to the side, so I can keep track of my work. Okay, now -16 is -16 over 1. Okay, every single every single integer is over 1 as a fraction. That's going to get me 48 over 4, which actually 48 is divisible by 4. Okay, 48 is divisible by 4, so that's equal to negative 12. Right, so this negative 12 is the answer that we got when we did 3/4 times negative 16. So that belongs right here. That would be our answer. So here's the 3/4 times negative 16. I want you to see that we just did it. We did it off to the side. All right, and that negative 12 is in our new expression. All right. By the way, whatever question you have, if you have a question about it, you can just take a screenshot, email me, and I can try to direct you on how to do it with the method that I just showed you. Okay? So just ask. Number 40 is next. Okay, so I'm actually not going to do number 40. So all this is solving an equation, but with decimals. Okay? So right here, we want to subtract 3.7 on both sides. All right? So you'll do 6.77 minus 3.7, and that will get you the answer for U. 42. Okay. So now we're taking an equation. Our desired variable is W. So we have a desired variable of W, and we want to figure out what value W is. Okay, so look, judging from the question, most likely our W will be a fraction. All right? So right here, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to subtract 3/5 on both sides so that we could do the opposite of adding 3/5. Okay? Or the opposite of a positive 3/5 is a negative 3/5. So they would cancel. Okay, so these cancel. The reason they cancel is because they're opposites. Okay, and now we have 1/2, which is in black, minus 3/5. Okay, so we have to find a common denominator. Our common denominator would be 10, because 2 times 5 is 10. So this would be 5/10, and this would be 6/10, which is going to get you negative 1/10 as your answer. Okay, so W is equal to negative 1/10. This would be how you show your answer on your work. Okay? So make sure you go through this example right here. You can rewind if you got a little confused somewhere and just try to listen to what I was trying to say. Okay? So I think where you would get most confused would be right here. If you are confused, be right here. Okay? So you want to realize that I wanted to solve for W, so I did 1/2 minus 3/5, and I did that off to the side, like scratch work. Last one, here we go. 45. 45 is the last one. Here we go. All right. Awesome. So we have 3b over 2 equals 15. All right. So if you look at the notes from today, or from this unit, okay, from solving equations, so it'd be 2.1 and 2.2, you're going to see a side note that says we can remove fractions with multiplication. Okay, so right here we have a fraction with a denominator of 2, which means we're taking something and we are cutting it into 2 pieces. We're taking something and we're cutting it into 2 pieces. So here we're taking 3b, we're cutting it into 2 pieces. So if I multiply that by 2, that would be like taking the 2 pieces, and taking them out of the equation and making it a whole. Okay? You can think of it like this. If you take a pie and you cut it into 2 pieces, and then you eat the 2 pieces, you ate the whole pie. Okay, so this makes a whole pie. All right? If you do something on one side, you have to do it on the other as well. So to keep things balanced, 3v equals 30, and you divide by 3, you get v equals 10. Okay, so the key part here is in red. All right, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.